Hello.
Hi.
It's episode 4, season 2. What are we talking about today, Angg?
Straight away, just to...
I'm just getting into it. Let's go.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
let's go. Let's do it.
Really? Why are you rushing so much?
Huh? Yeah.
All right.
Calm, still. All right.
Peace.
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 It's episode 2.
Oh my God, you know. So today, guys, from this beautiful park, while we're enjoying this beautiful weather, we decided to talk about how by healing ourselves, we're healing past generations from whatever they experienced, whatever the trauma, pain they had, and they consciously or unconsciously projected on us. And us as a light workers, we had to just deal with that with full awareness and free the other generations from the pain they're carrying and just projecting on others.
Yeah.
So, how do you find this subject? You know, how do you feel with this topic? How does it resonate with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, all people do project things on, and it's for whatever reason. So, and it can carry on generational. When I kind of think about it, I guess I can and talk to people, then can almost see where it sort of gets filtered out a little bit. And hopefully that's what does happen. But we can carry these things from that are passed down, definitely. So for me, I feel that I am a little bit different. I'm very different, and I guess part of that is from learning about myself, making some of those same mistakes in life, whatever, or just going through different things in life and similar things. And I guess I like to be more accountable for myself at the same time, if that makes
Taking
sense.
responsibility for your actions.
Yeah, I don't like to fall into a I just like trying to get the words out today. I don't like to fall into a sort of, I guess, a category. And I've tried doing, I guess when I was much younger, I may have, even with my work actually, almost followed a pattern that may have come before me, as in being an engineer. I know we're talking about different things, but so, yeah.
So it's quite interesting because, you know, sometimes the first thing that you think past generations, you're gonna go to the nearest one, which is our parents, right? And from what many of us know, many of you know, we learn and carry a lot from our childhood, you know. So for example, we experience some traumatic events that might on the surface not look like a big deal, but they would be big deal to you. This will have a massive impact on your life, and people who are not aware, and we're talking at the moment only just about one generation, right? When people are not aware, they will be blaming, they will be in the blaming mode, and they will stay loyal to the patterns they create in childhood, because you have to remember this one thing: what happened and how you received it is your own perception. Okay, so in reality, there is nobody to blame, and our responsibility, our job is to let people off the hook, because when we experience it from the first hand, we have to remember this one thing, that people can't do better than they know. Okay, so they also have their own limitations. They also dealing with lots of different emotions, and sometimes we just end up being in the wrong place in the wrong time, and we just get the hit, and then we take it very personally, and we create some sort of experience that has an impact on us, and we carry that experience, you know, just throughout our whole life. So when we gain this knowledge, you know, it's actually easier for us to put things to rest. But we also have to remember that those people who hurt us, which is not true, you know, experienced someone else in the past who hurt them, and them someone else who hurt them. And the thing is, you see, for us, our responsibility is just to release all of those emotions, and stop blaming anybody for anything, because we are in charge of how we live our life. And we were talking about manifestation, meditation, appreciation. Those tools are helping us as well to let go of the things that holds us back. When we are kids, we are just like
We're a
clear.
sponge. We
Yeah,
are
we're like sponge, like a
everything is
clear
learning, yeah.
record, and
Yeah.
we absorb all of the informations from the environment, and we accept them as our own, and then this just plays out in our life. And very often people think that we can't change the programming, thoughts, statements we use, right, on daily basis. But that's not true, because our brain is like a computer, right? And we can change the way we think. And when we change the way we are thinking, everything else is changing.
I'm going to cut in because you're right, and because you talked about reality and how it's programmed. And I bet if you had a time machine, right? So you thought of whatever moment, let's just go with this traumatic moment, whatever it was. And I'm not saying it wasn't, because we've all probably got it, right? Something's happened. It could have just bloody ice cream could have fell off the cone or something. Everyone's going to deal with it differently. But bet if you went back in time and actually stood there as an observer, you might see it very differently.
So this is
because
what
you've
is
kind of
happening.
built a different thing up in your head. It's still the same thing, but how it's how your, I suppose, that chimp part of our brain is going to make it sound very different. So it will be, so it gets distorted over time.
It gets,
Yeah.
it's just like a gossip. You are just add another element to it, right?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
We changed. We were going to change and shift the story. Do it now. Do it as adults. It just happens. Some gets wrong, and it's, well, I've been wrong, so I'm going to have to change the story a little bit. It just happens, and it's just, wow. So if you were to go back, I'll give you a really good example, right? So when I used to get school reports, I don't know what it was, I just always seen the negative in it, and it used to really get me down. And it was about probably, I reckon, a good 20 years ago, because I've still got all these reports, and I went back and read them, and I was like, looked at it, it was so different. I thought, oh my God, they're actually praising me here. And I just, for some reason, that part of my life, I was honing in on this, could try harder. And I took it as such a negative. And then felt quite demoralised, really. But it wasn't as bad as what, when I've read it as an adult, as how I perceived it then. So over time, it would, how I perceived it then, and over time of it getting distorted in my head. It was,
This is actually a very powerful thing. This is what we often use in coaching. We try to go back to the traumatic event and just watch it from the position of observer,
yeah.
just to change the perspective. Because to be fair, there is no one rule that is the only rule you have to use in order to free yourself
Yeah.
from the emotions that were holding you back. But I find that whatever you're just working on, as soon as you release some sort of tension, or you just even forgive yourself, because forgiveness is a very powerful tool. When you forgive yourself and you forgive the person, sometimes they are not even aware of this. You know what I mean? You healing part of them. And if we are going to talk about spirituality and spiritual connection, because we are all in this together, things are happening for a reason, for the sole purpose, for our personal growth. So remember when I told you we were talking about it in a season 1. I've experienced some traumatic events, in my life, and it wasn't one, it wasn't two, it was many. And now, as I think about it, from a perspective of time, because as a result of what I've experienced, I developed a very, very bad habit, and that was bulimia, right? That was something that was helping me to deal with the emotions. That's the only thing I knew that was working for me, because I didn't want to project on anyone. I didn't want to weigh anybody with my problems. I was the sounding board, and there was nobody for me. And I thought, that was my way of dealing with the emotions.
Yeah.
And for years, I carried this as a technique, and I was like, if I didn't experience what I've experienced in the past, I would not end up with this condition. But now, from the position of someone who healed herself, I am looking at it and I'm thinking, do you know what? That was the biggest blessing. Even though I know it might sound weird, but I truly believe this was one of the biggest blessings for me, because coming out on the other side of it, I found that I'm strong. I'm really strong, that I can deal with emotions in so many different ways. and I have more compassion for those who are going through it.
Yeah.
I understand trauma on a deeper level, and I also understand that how I perceived the situation I was in when I was, let's say, 16, right? Because that's when it all happened. I mean, there was build up, but that's not the episode to talk about it. I understood that the person who was causing me to feel that way was in a deep shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if
You're right.
if I was carrying a grudge and disappointment in my heart,
Yeah.
I would actually add more pain to their existence.
Yeah.
So by releasing pain from my own heart
Yeah.
and letting this go, I actually make their life easier. So this is in a direct line, right?
Yeah.
I imagine what is happening when you're dealing with many people around you, with your family, and you just learn not to take things personally from anybody.
Yeah.
You're just allowing them to be the way they are, right? You're automatically dissolving the links, and you're allowing them to heal. Because this is the thing, you've heard this sentence when, for example, there is a fire, when you add fuel to the fire, fire will grow, right?
Yeah.
You cannot cure war with violence.
No.
It has to be peace.
Yeah.
And it's the same here. When someone is just projecting all their anger on you, from the spiritual point of view, it would be like you're the one who is allowing them to get rid of the outlet of the negative energy they can't hold on to anymore.
Yeah.
And if you won't take it personally, you're actually gonna be helping them to heal.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna react to it,
Yeah.
you're gonna create more turmoil, and you're gonna extend that trauma.
Yeah.
You're gonna be practicing that trauma, and that trauma will be carrying on for much longer than it needs to.
Yeah.
But it takes awareness to understand this,
Yeah.
to put those things in place. And don't get me wrong, ego will kick in now and then, but that's okay. Right, because we all have our limits. We are still humans, and it's not like
I think if you're aware of it, you can manage it. And it like ego, again, I always refer it as the chimp. But if you can exercise it, and you can't really blame it, but you have to accept it's there. It's a bit like a dog, isn't it?
no, I love my dog.
Yeah, but dogs are great. But
He's loyal, very loyal.
Yeah, but you still you're responsible for your dog. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're responsible. Like if you put your hand out to a dog and you get bit, generally dogs don't bite, but there's a chance a dog might bite, right? So, but as an owner, you're responsible to manage that dog. So it's a bit like your ego. He says it better in the chimp paradox. You wouldn't let a chimp go off wild around a supermarket, right? So it's, we're just kind of gone off on one, but just for a change. But ego's there, and I think when you're aware of it, and just when it comes out, but be accountable for it as well, and just manage it basically. But that's about putting up boundaries. Oh, it's another one with boundaries.
This will keep coming back, because everything is just interlinked and connected, and it's gonna be always like a live subject. I think it's worth bringing this back just to help everybody to understand and see how this plays out, just in our everyday life. So you can't put it aside.
No,
right?
I think stuff that's happened, I've treated best as I can is treat it as some kind of lesson. There's a time maybe where I would have held on to whatever. I don't have no need to go over it really. It's stuff, and it's and even this year actually stuff that's going on, and it's kind of almost like, wow, I'm just connecting up some dots here, and I understand why these things did happen. Like I said to you, it's like I had these pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. I didn't really know where they were supposed to go. And there's other times in life I felt like that, and right now that makes sense. So it's like I've got another portion of it, and I understand it, even just about my upbringing and how fortunate I was that there was no. Said to my mum when mum and dad separated, so unfortunately I seen arguing there, but that was important for me to know that I don't like that. And then what happened after? I went to see my stepdad the other day, and I was real fortunate. I never had any of that. So shit, you know, it didn't work out. Everyone's happy now, but I mean, I was put in front of some really, I had great family values around me anyway, through my dad's family. Mum's family I didn't know so much, so I can't really comment too much on that. I know the ones I do know, brilliant. And then meeting my stepdad's family, the same again. So I, you know, realised how I'm very fortunate in that sense, but not to have that drama and whatever. So in a way, there were other things happening that really did affect me. I didn't realise how much, but I've let go of all that. It's still there, you know. Like, it's no point bringing up something that I listened to before. Like, you can forgive, definitely, and I think that's really important, to forgive people, because you're just holding it. And I like how you put it. It's like you're just putting more trauma back. So that trauma is now going to go on to the next person and the next person, but you're not responsible for that. Also, they are, you know, people are responsible. I was off on one, and now I've just been warp speed back home. Beat me back down. I was on a good flow then. So yeah, it's important to forgive. It's not like you can't forget it, but if you keep bringing it up, you're living in it.
That's interesting.
You keep living in it.
Oh, I'll show you something, you know, because I knew this was coming up, right? You can't
I'm just reading my mind again.
You can't forgive, but you can't forget. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Guys, this is a question to you too.
Depends how you put it, right?
Hold on,
Yeah.
okay? Is that something what's been engraved in our head? Because this sentence been, you know, just rinsed and repeat over and over and over.
Yes, and I will counter it with this. So my point is this: it's happened, it's there, but you don't have to keep reliving it.
Okay, can I ask you a second question to it?
Yeah.
So if you
You can
can
boundary it.
if you can forgive,
Yeah.
right, and you don't forget, did you really forgive?
Yes, because I chose that as much as certain things, so I don't have to spend time with that person. Do I?
No, you don't.
No, and there's, you know, some I just wouldn't anyway. It's just, I see no sense in it. It wouldn't make any sense now. And others I just think, well, actually, you've really helped me out here. Now, I knew that would come. But no, but they are who they are. So you're relieved of your whatever. It makes no difference. But you've got to come onto boundaries now. So I'm very selective of that, like people that are around me. I've got to protect that.
So how does that help with healing the past?
Healing the past is, I'm all right about it, but I don't have to go back into it.
No, it's not about moving
Yeah.
back.
So if I use an example, if it's someone that's kind of maybe a bit toxic, for whatever their reasons are, and generally because they're carrying their own stuff, and everyone got good bits. We all got good. There's good in everyone. I feel, majority. Hey, Mandy, how you doing? It's good in everyone, right? But if something's, you know, I've got my boundaries, and that's it.
So is that a form of protection?
Yeah, it's protect my bloody peace. Angg. No, it is. It's protect my peace. It's protect. I get over. Otherwise, I'm drained, or I get sucked in. My fault, right? I allow myself doing stuff, and I think, oh, what am I doing this for? I'd rather teach you how to do it.
Do you know what? I'm glad you mentioned boundaries, because I've noticed that it is something what allowed me to. Hi.
See, like, there's a good friend, Mandy, and sets so many great boundaries. Knows what her levels are. I don't want to say anything personal, but yeah.
This is actually one of the things that allows you to, you know, stay on your course.
Yeah.
Right? Because you heal some of the traumas, you heal the ancestral wounds, you know, starting from the generation which you're most familiar with. But when you do that, you know, it happens automatically that you actually heal further down the line.
Yeah.
Right? And how you do it. You know, people who cause you pain don't receive, maybe not the silent treatment, but they don't receive nastiness from you.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, imagine it's just like a pipe, right? And let's say there is a nastiness coming out of the pipe. It's not only nastiness, but we are
It's
actually
whatever
tapping
it is.
to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
If you're gonna be sending the nastiness back, you're actually feeling the pipe,
Yeah.
and it becomes even more dense.
Yeah, and see, that's the mistake I've made in the past.
Well, that's not
We
a
all-
mistake.
Well, it
Right?
is because this,
That's
I
just a
realised.
learning
Yeah,
curve,
exactly. So I
right?
realised what it is. Mistakes are okay. It sometimes you've got to learn the same one a few times.
You will have to,
Yeah. And actually, when I think back, I've made that mistake, but it's different. It's different.
It's
almost
quite
like I'm
interesting.
carving it out
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
It was a bit jaggedy. Let's smooth it over, and it'd be all right. But yeah, like, mistakes are fine. They happen. We're
That's
human.
part of learning
Yeah, we're
process.
human. I think they're important, and it's you might make similar ones. I think we make similar mistakes. Some people, they may make the same mistakes over and over and over, but sometimes you got to do that. But I think you'll find it might seem like it's the same mistake, but I would probably, if you looked at it, it's similar. It's just you're trying a different method. To bang your head on a brick wall. I took the nail out of that one. No. Right, well, that one's a wooden wall, so let's try that one. No. We got to have a laugh.
Yeah, you've got to. And this is another thing, sense of humor.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very healing tool, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I know that's very,
Well,
very
when
good for me anyway.
a couple of times when on season 1, we're only a little bit in season 2, and we've met up. One of us has just been a bit off, and then straight away we get one laughing, and it changes it. Generally meant, Ang's getting this fish and slapping it. No, that didn't happen at all.
Yet.
Not yet.
Anyway, so.
But you know what I mean? So, yeah, laughter is really important. And sometimes, you know what, if you can look at a situation and laugh, you're not saying, laugh or cry, but it's the same, putting the same energy into it. Same.
I do
thing,
believe,
so-
do you know what? It's also very important to understand that, the only moment in life is that it really does matter is now, okay? Because
Yeah.
whatever we are focusing, whether this is past and we are trying to bring like healing energy to it, everything is happening now. But the question is, which direction you're going? Do you want to go forward? Because if you want to go forward, you have to feel your now moment with everything what is beneficial for you. Letting people off the hook, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, because sometimes those things might not be directly connected with the healing of the past generation, but by you taking care of yourself, you're actually healing the past generation.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, because
Yeah,
you're an
definitely.
extension of it.
Yeah. Well, otherwise you're taking it on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously whoever comes after you, they're gonna have much better example, but it's still probably because of their own perception, they will have to
Yeah.
heal something.
You've got to break a chain of events.
Yeah, and this is quite an interesting thing, because I remember I was talking to my coach and she said, I wonder when my daughter, and she's coach herself, gonna sign up for coaching with someone else just to heal her traumas. Because the thing is, you see, trauma really is our perception, our experience.
Yeah.
And we might be looking at the same thing and we're gonna have completely different experience.
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes when I'm thinking about it, a little bit deeper, if we are looking at it from the perspective of the soul evolution, we need to have this perception to experience this pain so we can learn a specific lesson, right? And I do believe that the moment I've started, working with myself and digging much deeper, when I opened my perception, things started making bigger sense to me.
Yeah.
So I let myself off the hook much more, because this self-judgmental mode I was in was always actually taking care of the energy and all the experience that caused me pain from the past.
Yeah. Sorry, I got to interrupt because it's made me think of something.
Okay.
And this is going back to when I was young. And actually, because there was times, there's things that were being said to me, I can't go into it. And it wasn't right. It felt normal, but it wasn't right. And for a long time, I think the anger was actually what it came down to is because I didn't speak up and say something about it. In the end, I did. It's nothing, majorly horrible, but it just, for me, it knocked my confidence. It was chipping away at me a little bit, and it's it's even made me think like this. I ain't gonna do that with my kids, or it's not my mum or dad, by the way, and it's no one in my family. It just whatever. Just got to put that out there. But I think for a lot of what I realised, actually, I was angry because I didn't step up and say, "This isn't right." And it got to a point where the last moment of it where I really, really wanted to and I didn't, but then they exited anyway. If that makes sense. I know it's a bit cryptic, but
very cryptic,
I got to be a bit considerate of people that may be watching.
Yeah.
So, and because this, what's the point? If I go, oh well, this person said this and it was exactly like that. All I'm doing is just throwing bad out. So sometimes it's good to be cryptic about things, like my close things.
That's why there is this saying I really like a lot: if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything.
Yeah, exactly. And because it'd be freaking distorted anyway. And I've had that happen to me. It's things got said and it was distorted. Well, okay, that's their reality then, isn't it? But anyway, that's that.
So the question
I'm just
is
really
to
curious
you
now.
guys.
What is it? I wonder what it was.
No, I don't need to know.
Why was the rabbit talking to him?
What is?
Thank you, Mandy.
What have you experienced most recently, or like in last, or maybe since COVID? Because I think this was a great time for all of us to look, just inside of us. We were taken away from the work and the hamster wheel, and I think many people dig deeper. Many people
did. You know what? COVID was weird for me though, because I just felt, because I like to help. I'm here to serve, and that's something again I've realised. I knew it, but I've had to real clarify that again more recently. So when COVID hit, the first thought was, oh my God, how am I going to pay the staff? Because people were going to stop paying. I knew it. So I had to find ways to somehow keep that flow coming through. Right, there was grants and there was whatever. Okay, so what can I do? Do I sit at home, do nothing? So I just went straight in, I'm just teaching. So for me, but maybe that was a bit of clarity, part of that clarity journey, I don't know.
Did you find a solution?
Yeah,
so this is what I'm saying.
My solution was, I know it's going to affect my mental health, so this is what I'm going to do for the community or whatever.
Well, but that, soul searching will always bring the solutions. Those solutions which you have not practiced before, because obviously the situation was completely different.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes, I mean, not everybody is in a position like you. Many people were in a position where they were just in normal employment from 9 to 5, and all of a sudden they just had to, retrieve. They had to stay at home. If they had chance, they could work from home, but they also had to do the homeschooling. Everything's changed, right?
And they were all in my freaking. I don't let anyone around my house. I had like people coming in my living room on Zoom. Don't know how lucky you lot were.
But the thing is, that was also a great opportunity. Maybe, I might be talking on behalf of all those who experienced what I experienced. I've been working online for quite some time, and for me, I felt less pressured.
Yeah.
Because I still kept juggling lots of things, just in the reality, right? Where we were just going out and just doing things like everybody does. And because I created more time, or the time was created for me, it wasn't by choice, right? I went fully online. I directed my creativity and work one direction, and I had more time to work on the things that started coming up to the surface.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was lots of things which I've healed ever since. And I do believe that if that space wasn't created for me, even though it wasn't the best scenario, I believe I made the best out of it. And my question is, have you experienced something very similar? Have you managed to heal something, what you were carrying for so long, and then you got to a point and you decided to just to let it go, or just to let people the hook, or just look at it completely different and change your perspective? If you have anything like that, just please put it in the comments, because I'm really curious, because I do believe, especially nowadays, everything is just changing so much faster, especially since COVID. It's just like we are being catapulted forward. and there is so many people who are focusing on this soul searching,
Yeah.
energy healing, soul healing path, much more than ever before.
So yeah, I agree with that, because actually, I think I've explored it more, definitely in the last year. Being in COVID,
It's quite interesting
Yeah,
when we
it
talk
was
about
there, so I
COVID.
think
It was 2020, right?
yeah, that's right.
So it's
But I
like
feel
the
it's
thing.
just all it did. It was like, well, that gave me a big push.
But
So I would have got here eventually. So it just gave me a push on that, that thing really. And it's been helpful having friends to talk about it, talk about stuff with you. So then you find, oh, this is a safe zone. And now I just don't care, because I just talk about it in front of anyone. I was at an event earlier in the year. I think I pulled out some crystals. Oh, I got some of them. Went round the tables, about 10 of us. Only one person didn't have them in their pocket. But it's not afraid to talk about it. I don't know. Wondered how they'd be. Huge global awakening, Mandy. Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
which is actually a very good thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I got another comment, but I don't want to.
Is there another comment?
Oh wow! So yeah, and I think, I guess we had that more of that solitary environment. So when the children went there, it was nice. I quite liked it. It's nice being on my own, but it's nice when my children came over as well. So
Yeah. And I do, again, just going back to what we were talking about. Thank you very much for sharing, by the way, guys.
I got to keep moving, getting cramp in my foot.
With this global awakening that is happening on a rapid speed, people like you, business person, like coming out with, just and speaking openly about your beliefs, and and those crystals that you're carrying with. So I think we are becoming more true to ourselves, who we really are and what works for us, and we are stopping to care what other people think. And this is like, I know it directly and indirectly connects with healing the past traumas, and the wounds from the past, because I don't know about this country. I've been here only 17 years. When I go back, everything is just like everybody's observing everybody, or at least they were before, because obviously, within the last 17 years, many things changed.
Yeah.
But I still remember it was always like, remember what people say, what they're gonna say, behave because so and so will say something. Like, we were just very much cautious of what other would think about us doing us.
Yeah.
Where now, with this massive global awakening, it's like people stop caring about others people's opinion, because first of all, you are the only person who is living with you 24/7, so your relationship with you is the most important one, right? Second, you're not taking them home, right? And they might respond to you their own way, the most practiced way, and this got nothing to do with you, because in the end of the day, you don't even know how they're gonna perceive you at that moment.
Yeah.
If they have, like they are walking with big dark cloud over their head, their perception will be dark. They will see everything negative, comparing to a person who is actually in a great mood and see you. And we might be in the same situation doing the same thing, and two people will be observing you with different perception, and their perception, their experience of you will be completely different, even though the situation is the same.
And it's often based on their own life anyway.
This is
A
it.
projection of ourselves, or something that's happened.
So I do believe that,
Good or bad.
in this situation, the moment when we are right now, I think it's so encouraging that so many people are actually going out there and they are being open about their own beliefs and what they've discovered, and they're talking about universal forces, about angels. Do you know what? If someone would say that you're crazy talking about this stuff, let them be, because from my personal point of view, how would this harm anybody, me talking about angels and doing good things, right? Being nice and kind.
So, with my friend Mandy, often number, same as yourself.
Yeah.
What's this number mean? Oh, there's a feather here, this cunt turned up. So I think when you've got a good circle of friends like that,
We attract those people.
Oh, no, definitely.
Right?
Definitely. I love this. So, let's give some tips on how we can heal ourselves then. So I think definitely back to nature is a good one.
Definitely,
Yeah.
because that will balance ourselves out, and it will also allow us to raise our vibration. And again, as I mentioned just a second ago, perception.
Yeah.
When you change your vibration, you vibrate higher, you see more good things, because again, you're attracting those things.
Yeah.
Right? And Do you remember that was in season 1? We did this test. For example, you look somewhere, right? If we are going to be totally physical and you use the science to explain, how our mind operates. Imagine you look out there, and we will ask you to close your eyes, right? Or no, just first look out there and just find everything in color red. And you're gonna be looking for red things just around. And then I'm gonna ask you to close your eyes, right? And I'll ask you to tell me what you've seen in blue, right? And you won't be able to tell me that what you've seen in blue because you were focused on red. And it's the same thing. By doing those things that allows you to raise your vibration, you are actually sharpening your mind and you're choosing your point of focus, right? So it's quite normal that you're gonna go out there and you're gonna see more of those things that you're focusing on intentionally.
Yeah, definitely. I just think sit down and just stop for a bit and you just listen to the sounds and stuff that's going on. You don't, eyes open, eyes closed, don't matter. So I think little things make a big difference. That helps a lot. Next week we're talking about words to help with our manifestation. So it's kind of a follow-on. So you'll want to listen to that one.
Slowing the manifestation down, so we have to be cautious. You have to be aware. So that's going to be quite interesting.
So there's one for you. That's next Monday. I think you said Tuesday then. And I would have sound wrong if I said it, but it's not on Tuesdays anymore. See you next Monday. So I think back to nature and just boundaries, very important. And if you're going through something at the moment that is causing stress or trauma, then it might be something from your past, their past, or if it's a person, for example, or something from that. But make sure you got that time for yourself, because you need to really calm your mind down. You're not responsible for anyone else, whether it be their happiness, but we're responsible for how we handle that. So just take that time away, remove some distractions.
And this is our responsibility.
It is, yeah.
Because, in the end of the day, when you take time for yourself and you release the pain, you make yourself feeling better. But also, then when you encounter anybody, they are having this benefit of experiencing you feeling good and being a positive influence rather than negative.
Well, don't be bleeding your traumas all over everyone else, basically.
Yeah. But it always starts from within. Whatever is happening in your world, what you see is unfortunately the picture of your inner world. So if you want to change the surrounding, if you want to change how you perceive the world you live in, look within. Yeah.
Get a coach if you need it. Yes, you can afford it, because you don't need Netflix as much as you need healing. I think that's it, Angg.
I think so.
Next week. It's pre-recorded. I'm going home to Ireland. Yeah! But we are on air next Monday, 12 minutes past the 12. British time, whatever we're in.
Yeah, UK time. And please follow us, share, comment if you find value in what we do. Also share with us the ideas and topics you would like us to talk about, because we are planning to bring lots of wonderful people to the table, and they're going to be sharing beautiful magic, their magic with us. And
Auntie Clelia, thank you. Lovely to see you the other day. By the way, I know if you're watching, thank you for your kind words.
Random.
Thank you. Yeah, I had it in my head. I was going to say at the beginning. Anyway, you catch you. Happy days.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Not at all. Never.
So we are looking forward to connect with you again. And I'm not gonna say this, but we're gonna say.
Well, don't say it then.
Next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Because it's Mondays now, so it's okay.
Is it? Oh, of
yeah,
course.
Yeah.
Something
See you next
explained to
Monday.
me. Ciao.
Bye.